Well, in a few years, I'll be as double act, getting up.
Maybe we could do a show as the Leicester Comedy Festival, How I Failed in Business.
How I Failed in Business Live.
You won't be nervous for that, would you?
No. She said in tears.
In the most nervous episode
No,
ever.
I would love that.
We'll try again. Hello and welcome to the 4th episode of How I Failed in Business. It's been going well so far, hasn't it?
It has been going well so far.
Have you enjoyed doing it?
I've really enjoyed doing it. I will be honest, I was extremely nervous. I'm not a great public speaker, which you wouldn't think would matter when you're technically speaking to just you in a booth with a microphone or to one other person. But the pressure of the camera,
Yeah.
it got to me.
I think the camera does affect everything. Because like this now, we're just having a conversation.
Just having a little chat.
There's a microphone. I mean, you use the word booth. Now,
It is perhaps the most haphazardly thrown together booth
do you know what?
I've ever seen.
It is. It worked. I'm going to take a photo of it. And maybe one day we'll share this on socials and people can just see.
It will be retrospective. Once we're in a massive, big, padded out studio,
Oh, 100%.
we'll look back on the days where it was...
I mean, it's thrown together, but it works.
It works.
It does work.
It serves its purpose.
Let's not be around the bush. There are a team of workmen outside right now filling in a hole in the ground, and I'm hoping that the audio is not picking it up. And that's how good the booth is working.
There we go. We found a solution to all of our problems. It's nice.
This is Rob Spence just throwing it together all again. But can I just I didn't once pick up any of your nervousness.
Thank you.
At all. So obviously I've sat next to you and recorded these. I've edited them all up, and never once have you shown any sign of nervousness, anxiousness at all.
It's a wonderful facade that I've got up. I throw it up every day, and then I go home and I cry in my car.
But to be fair, I think the only time I did notice was when you were having to watch or listen to some of it back.
Oh my God, I hate my voice. Hate it. It sounds completely different in my head, which I know everyone's does. But there's something very specific about listening to my voice back that sends cold shivers down my spine. You love it. Your own voice.
Thanks, yeah.
Or should I say that was me way to say it. You've gotten completely used to it already.
Oh, and I think that's all it is. I think it's just because I've been, recording content.
Do sales training videos all the time.
Yeah,
constantly recording.
I mean, if you look as a business, I've been recording videos for 6 years, give or take, and then I've always messed around with cameras and stuff. So it's only taken time to get used to it. But I think it is just that practice. And
I'm really bad for it. I was telling you the other day we were running some training sessions here at Paragon, the company, and our sales manager was having me listen back to some of the calls that we'd done, and he's like, "You need to learn from these because we're going to go through them," and their fingers in my ears. Oh. I can't do it, but I did listen to the episodes that are currently out of the podcast.
Yeah.
And do you know what? If it wasn't me talking, I'd absolutely love them.
Do you know what? Actually, the annoying thing, right, is... So this is now our 4th episode. We've got loads more episodes planned. We've got loads more already pre-recorded.
Yes.
And obviously I've been sharing the links left, right and centre with all who I thought were my friends and family and so on. And literally none of them, not one, has said, "Rob, you sound good. You sound fantastic. You're hilarious. These are really well put together." Every single person has complimented you.
They know I need it.
Honestly, I'm literally just scrolling through my phone now. I'm not going to be able to find anything, am I, in typical nature? But I've had so many comments about how good you are.
I did get a few compliments through. Do you know what? I got a couple of really nice, general comments about the podcast. I did get one friend comment on you in the podcast.
Really?
To say... I really love that he announced that he dropped his pen, even though there was no audio and no one knew that he had dropped his pen.
I was just very nervous that there would just be a loud... Because it was a metal pen. It wasn't just a plastic Bic. It was a Parker, it was going to make a clang. Was that the only comment I've had?
It was a voice note as well. My friend thought it was so funny. She had to send me a voice note. I'm laughing.
I'm so glad out of everything I've done in this podcast, it's the pen, the dropping of the pen that's
Libby
really...
wanted to let you know.
Thank you. Thanks, Libby. Much appreciated. Thank you so much.
I'm actually, I'm on the edge of my seat now because I know that we are going to be listening to some voice clips back in this episode.
We are. That is exactly right. So, as you may have kind of gathered from the format, is we want to get loads of guests on this podcast so we can learn from their mistakes and we can learn from all their mishaps, their failures and everything. And of course, if you do want to feature on the podcast, we do welcome it.
Absolutely.
100%. The more variety, the more fun that we can get, the better. All you've got to do is send us a DM on any of our social platforms. You can email in to howifeldinbusiness@gmail.com. All we ask is an hour of your time. Come to us in Leicester, come to our offices. Although we have been toying with the idea of going out on the road, haven't we?
Some roadshow.
We know, we love the term roadshow.
Roadshow.
But look, if you're struggling for time and you've got a great story to share, perhaps there's an opportunity for us to come to you.
And if you think you're not the right sector, not the right industry, I guarantee you are. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to cover all areas to show the differences and a lot of the similarities that just people in business share, even if you're from completely different sectors.
100%. Yeah. So don't and the failures don't need to be like massive. No. Like we've had everything from.
We've had, fell over trying to take a picture.
Oh gosh, yeah, we did. Yes, yeah, we did. I forgot about that one. That one's coming up in a few weeks. We've had all sorts. We've had some severe ones like the HMRC chasing people and payment plans being set up. We're going to listen to a few in a moment. So don't think that you've got to have like the biggest mistakes in the world.
We're also just here for a laugh,
To be honest, yeah. It gets us away out of work. Really.
Exactly.
And as long as it puts a smile on some of your faces, then that's all that matters.
Yes.
So what we're going to be doing is obviously interviewing as many people as we can. And in between those episodes, this is what we're going to, I don't know what we could class this as, like a bit of a summary, a recap. I don't know.
Maybe like a bit of a deeper dive, perhaps.
Yeah.
We do the episodes with the guests, which is absolutely wonderful. But in those episodes, we want to hear them talk. We want to hear what they've got to say. So we're using these episodes to sort of go into a little bit more detail about some of the key points that they made and really sort of pull them apart and how they can be useful, what we can really be learning from them. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit more casual in these episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
More chilled out.
I think you are right. That introduction of the camera, I think it's great to film them, but it just feels nice just to be able to sit here in our recording booth, in our studio, spitting some bars, having a chat. It does feel nice. It's relaxed. Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about Lisa Tennant's episode, which would have come out. So at the time of recording this, or when this comes out, last week.
The first episode with a guest that I ever filmed.
It was. Yes, it was. Do you know what? I think it went really well.
Yeah, a lovely guest to start with. Lisa was great.
Lisa was fantastic. And it was really nice because I've known Lisa for, I'm going to say years. It could be a tiny bit less, but just through the business world, through LinkedIn. And it was nice to actually finally sit down with her and have a chat and learn more about her business. And I think there were some great lessons to learn. For those of you that haven't watched or listened to the episode, I do encourage you to go check it out. Lisa owns a VA agency, so virtual assistant agency.
Yeah.
And it was great. I don't know what you thought. It was nice to hear about that whole importance of outsourcing.
Yeah, really, really interesting. And how she implemented it into her business as she recognised it was a mistake that she made in her last one.
Yeah, exactly.
Really amazing.
And I think that really shone through with what we're trying to do with this podcast, because we are just trying, although yes, look, we're trying to do it with a bit of tongue in cheek, have a laugh, but it's so that people learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There are some lessons in there, and the purpose of these episodes is to try and pull those out a little bit.
Exactly. But she did so well. It was great to hear about her whole journey, her story, and as well, I think, to hear about a successful business person who has got a family.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, I know that's not shocking.
And an incredibly family-orientated person.
Yeah.
You can tell it's at the forefront of her focus. But she runs this incredible business. I think it was really wonderful to hear someone who's not sacrificed the other things in life that they're passionate about in order to run a business. She said she wanted something that she could do remotely because she really loves to travel, and she found a way to do that. I think that's really wonderful.
Exactly. And I think that's the beauty of being that entrepreneur, that business person. So I know, because you're a massive fan of traveling, is that...
Massive fan. My ears pricked up as soon as I heard that.
They did. I felt like I had to bolt you to the floor to stop you leaving
I
straight
had
away.
many questions. As soon as the camera cut off, I pounded her with questions about travel.
You did. I think I might have left some of that in the episode.
Oh.
I can't really remember now. So if you are listening, just remind me, send me a message.
Yeah, and
just
if anyone
remind me.
else has any travel tips, I'm always looking for some. So
Always, but keep it local and not for a long time. That'd be great.
please.
So
Yeah, anywhere else in Leicester, just let me know.
the National Space Centre is lovely for travelling. Shall we listen? This is where technology is going to fail me, isn't it? So what we've done is I've picked out 3 sound bites. So 3 key elements to what Lisa spoke about. So you've not really heard these sound bites.
I have not.
Obviously,
I heard
were
them when
in
I
the
was
room.
there, but yeah.
So I'll cut these into the editing. But let's listen to sort of the first bit that really shone through for me.
It was we got it in a private room in a hotel, and it was just me and him in the room for ages because everyone else was in the other room. And I was like,
In a hotel as well.
At
least you knew how to clean the sheets. I'll be honest, that there was no business lesson from that soundbite at all.
Just a joke that you liked.
I think, yeah, so we've recently recorded an episode with a great guy, great photographer and cookbook author, Matt Glover.
Matt.
And what we soon discovered is that perhaps telling jokes on the podcast is not a good idea.
Yeah. I will say that one landed significantly better than anyone that you told with Matt.
They're still up in the air. They've not landed. That's the issue with those jokes. I think, though, the best thing
I'm
about
really
that
curious to see if they do actually make it into the final edit.
I'm still in 2 minds.
Perhaps it's a BTS.
Yeah, it depends
released.
how red I go, because genuinely my back was sweating.
Oh, I can imagine. I
I am not one for normally being embarrassed or anything, but that got me.
I mean, we're not going to see you live at the Apollo anytime soon after what happened that day, I think.
Did you not see what I put in the group chat the day after, though? Yeah. Did you see that? So, just to make clear, right, so the local, well, they're not local, so the Big Difference company who run the Leicester Comedy Festival, I think they also do Glasgow, or Edinburgh, whatever it was.
Edinburgh.
Sorry. Sorry to people in Edinburgh. Might have just offended them. They invited me to do a stand-up, a take part in stand-up. It is for charity, but they are very eager for me to get involved.
Well, in a few years, I'll be as double act, getting up.
Maybe we could do a show as the Leicester Comedy Festival, How I Failed in Business.
How I failed in business live.
You won't be nervous for that, would you?
No. She said in tears.
In the most nervous accent ever.
I would love that. I would love that. We've, like we said, we do want this to be a comedy podcast. I think more than anything, we like to laugh. Even if we're the butt of the joke, we like a good laugh.
It's the best
and we
way.
do tend to be.
We always are. It's the best way. Well, maybe we'll skip past that little soundbite. That was just something I just wanted to include because I was funny for once.
In terms of mistakes that you think people might be making now in your current sector, what do you think are the main mistakes that other directors dealing with sort of virtual assistants are making? Are there any main ones that you sort of identify?
Not enough VAs go networking. So they sit, it's a remote job, and they think that's a lot. I'm not saying that in a general way. A lot of VAs think that, it's about putting out a website. And I'm on forums, so I see all the time. Well, I've started my website and no customers are coming in. And it doesn't matter what business you're in, whether it's a VA or any other business, it's graft. You've got to get out there. You've got to be... I network all the time. I'm like a networking tart, to be honest with you. So I'm out there all the time.
There's a soundbite, if ever I've heard one.
A networking tart.
And it was a soundbite.
That was the perfect soundbite. You heard it from the networking tart herself. And I can say that because she said it. But it was a really good point that I think Lisa brought to the forefront. Because actually, one of the reasons why I started this business is Paragon Sales Solutions. Our main sponsor, by the way. Thank you, Rob. Is because so many people... What a guy. They start a business and they literally go, right, I'm going to start... And when I say business, it could be anything from a big business right down to a hairdresser's, down to a little bakery at home or anything. And they just expect people to come to them to do business with them. And they sit there, they literally put the open sign on their desk and say, I'm open for business, and sit there and wonder why they're not getting any work in. So it was nice to hear Lisa say, look, you've got to get yourself out there and find the work yourself.
Yeah, I think, we never stop screaming and shouting about networking and having a presence, having people know about your business. Of course, we're in sales, so it's perhaps extremely important for us, but I think it just shows that sectors where you might think networking won't help me, it will never hurt you. It's so worthwhile to do it. If no one knows that your business exists, no one's going to come to you screaming and shouting from the rooftops. You're never as annoying as you think you are, because everyone wants clients, everyone wants customers, everyone wants business. That's how you keep your business alive. That's how you grow your business. We really, really cannot emphasize enough how important we make networking.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, like, I see it so often, like I say, people just sit behind the scenes, don't get out there, don't shout about themselves, because they feel like, I think you raised it yourself there, like, people feel they don't want to be too pushy, they don't want to be too arrogant about things, but if people don't know you're there, then how is your business going to grow? Yeah,
and I don't think it's arrogant or pushy to say we think we're the best. If you're not saying you're the best, you might as well say you're the worst. You know, it's what everyone's saying, it's what everyone's shouting, and I think there is this sense where people think, oh, well, I want to shout, but I don't want to shout the loudest, so they don't make any noise at all. But we've really pushed on networking. I mean, obviously, fresh networking.
A good plug there. Good plug. It's almost as if you know what you're doing. This is good.
I like to pretend. It's something that you started, which is really, really fantastic.
Yeah. And once again, it was because I think, you know, networking is so important. Our whole business was pretty much grown through networking to a degree. Yeah. But that kind of goes into conversations around personal branding and authority and so on. But, you know, I want networking to be done in a fun manner. That's why fresh networking has been formed, because I want people to, you know, look, of course you want to work the room, hand your business card out, whatever, but you want to do it in a fun manner.
I don't know if this episode will have already come out by then, but bowling is what's coming up next.
That's correct.
Fresh networking. I mean, not what I think a lot of people would have in their mind when they think of a networking event. You know, no 1 minute pitches.
No, definitely not. No. And Matt Glover would be very happy about that, wouldn't he? A future guest coming up again. But that's it. You know, it's about having fun and doing it and getting your name out there as well. So was that 2 sound bites I've done, or 1?
That's 2.
Was that 2? Oh, good. Just quickly, how was it hearing your own voice there?
You know what? I only had to listen to it for just the briefest of seconds, so it was actually okay.
I was watching your face and it just didn't change at all. So I don't think it was as bad as what I thought it was going to be. So let's listen to the third little thing I've pulled out from Lisa's episode.
Let's do it.
What's the funniest task you or any of your team had to do for a managing director?
Oh, God. We've had so many weird and wonderful things.
Oh, give us them all.
I can't. You're putting me on the spot now. There was once where we had to help someone with a sex shop. So it was like doing a little bit of marketing for a sex shop.
Oh, that's all okay. Marketing for it's
so
fine.
That's all right.
So the reason I brought this in, because we were talking about this the other day.
We were.
So Paragon used to have a client who were very similar to, I'm sure I can say it, OnlyFans. Yeah, I'm allowed to say that, aren't I?
The client wasn't OnlyFans.
No.
Very similar.
Very similar. So they had a website that allowed adult performers to kind of match and connect with adult fans. Is that the word? Yeah. I don't know.
Subscribers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we did their marketing for them, and it was different. It was good fun. It's an awkward one as a business owner, because you've got to have some very open-minded.
A very open-minded staff.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, normally in various policies, procedures, contracts, there are strict rules on pornography in the office.
Whereas they're like editing clips together, getting them ready to post.
It was insane. So I remember this was in our old offices. So we used to work above a restaurant, and as you'd come up these stairs, I'll have to show you the photos sometime. You come up these stairs, and that's where our digital marketing office were. So we had 2 desks in there. And you'd go upstairs, and just right there on the screen would be a penis or boobs.
Strictly 18 plus. Yeah. Not safe for work, as they might say.
Not normally, no. And it was good. It was funny because I think what kind of made it a bit easier was some of them were quite fetish-led. So there was a lot of balloon play. Going on.
Right.
So I guess the reason, you know, I mean, I wanted to kind of include that soundbite because what are your thoughts on sort of marketing for the adult industry?
You know what? every industry can benefit from a good marketing strategy. Good marketing
Watching your
team.
face right now is hilarious.
You're going to be hard pressed for widely spreadable graphics.
Spreadable.
Poor choice of words. Poor choice of words. No. Yeah, I think the thing is, it's an industry just like any other. Again, how are you going to know that you've got this website if no one knows that it exists?
Exactly.
You have to promote it. I think it's probably, you would think it would be really, really easy to market, but it's going to be one of the most difficult. For that reason, you have to be so sort of coy and tongue-in-cheek about the content that you are actually promoting, because you're at much higher risk of getting flagged, your content getting taken down, people just thinking that it's like a joke. You've got to figure out how to promote it in a way that gets across what you're trying to sell without being explicit about what you're trying to sell. But I think it's so funny that it happened to the both of you. I think that really is so hilarious.
Exactly. I mean, it does. I mean, look, there's going to be some people that are like, oh, no, the adult industry is bad.
People are like, oh, it's dirty, I don't want to touch it, kind of thing. But, it says.
It's a real tough one. It's a real hard one, I could say. Because, the adult industry makes a lot of money. I mean, I don't know the statistics, but there is so, billions per year across the world. And, that kind of adult sex industry, however you want to label it, has been going on for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Oldest profession.
There we go. I don't think we could ever just stop it. And I think the introduction of all these platforms just have that entrepreneurial spirit for so many people. And if you look at people in the industry, people have made so much money.
Oh, insane.
So much money. It was quite funny. Last year, my son, he is absolutely obsessed with supercars. He is absolutely obsessed with race cars. Basically, if he sees a fast car, he loves it. Right. I took him to a local supercar show. It's done for a local charity, and this guy rocks up. I mean, don't get me wrong, he really good looking chap. You could tell, when you look at someone, you can tell they work out, looks after himself, and he'd got a Lamborghini. And he was dead calm. Every other owner was like, don't you dare stand within 5 meters of my car. He was like, if you want to sit in it, you can. If you want to rev it, you can. He was just chilled out, calm, whatever. And he had a little Instagram tag on his window. And my son made a note of it. And he said, when we get home, Dad, can we check him out? I want to look at his car and stuff. Checked him out. Adult star. Full on adult star. And so I'm there on my phone and my lad's looking over my shoulder and I typed him in. I can't remember his name now. It'll come to me. And literally full on naked jock straps, the lot. Don't look, take it away. But it does work. But I think look, Lisa's episode was great. I thought it was a good, for our first, that was our first, wasn't it? Yeah. Our first joint one. I think we did well. I think we handled it well. Good chemistry.
Yeah. Perfect.
And Lisa did so good.
She did so well. It's really, like I've just talked about, it's really not easy to be thrust in front of a camera. And she said it was her first not Zoom podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So amazing.
A podcast of first. So if you've not listened to the episode, do go check it out. It should be the episode that's just kind of below or above this one.
Yeah.
Just a week before. So it'll be there somewhere. But please do go check it out. And of course, as always, make sure you share it with as many people as possible. But I think that kind of rounds us up for this little summary, really.
So,
do you know what we never did at the start? We never actually introduced ourselves.
Oh, people are sick of hearing our names.
Yeah, I know.
I'm Rob Spence.
I'm Sophia Grace. That's all they need to hear, isn't it? I think that'll do. But look, thank you to you for listening in. It does mean a lot.
Thank you so much.
We hate doing these. It's a real ball ache. We hate it, so we appreciate you putting up with us and listening. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click all the likes. Leave some comments.
Share it with your friends. Share it with your colleagues. Share it with your pets.
Absolutely.
Just share it.
Just share it as far and wide as possible. Our episode's coming out every week now, so they're going to be launched every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday morning. Catch it in on your way to work.
Or on the way home from work if you're working nights.
Hey.
Maybe.
Just catch it.
Do you know what?
You know your schedule better than us.
You do you, hon. You do you.
You do you.
But thank you so much for listening, and until next time.
Goodbye.
Toodaloo. Sophia, it's awfully kind that I, as the owner of Paragon Sales Solutions, have sponsored this podcast.
That was very generous of you to do.
Honestly, sometimes my generosity knows no bounds. But what do you know about Paragon?
Well, I know quite a bit about it since, I also work at Paragon Sales Solutions.
What's your favourite activity that they do? Or service?
I really love the fact that they have handled all of our digital marketing, which was very kind of them to do.
They have, all for free. Can you believe it?
Free.
All for free. That's very kind. And you head up the telemarketing team?
I do. I answer calls. I take calls.
I mean, it's more exciting than that, though, isn't it?
Well, I generate leads. I make sales. I help other businesses grow, which is all fantastic.
And what is the most exciting thing about Paragon Sales Solutions?
The incredible boss that we have heading up our team. No, it's the fruity and coffee.
I was happy to say the first answer, I'll be honest. Because without the first answer, the second answer wouldn't exist.
This is true. But yeah.
Where can people find out more about Paragon Sales Solutions?
People can find out more about Paragon Sales Solutions at, would you guess it, ParagonSalesSolutions.com.
It's only so after you say it so many times you realise that it's such
Paragon.
So you can't do it. Paragon Sales Solutions.
3 times fast.
Paragon Sales Solutions, Paragon Sales Solutions, Paragon Sales Solutions. You go.
Paragon Sales Solutions, Paragon Sales. You're getting sleepy.
You didn't even say one.